So the supply and demand trading strategy that I trade with is a very effective and efficient way to trade if you properly understand how the stock market works, if you guys properly understand what drives prices higher, what drives prices lower, and why sometimes prices trade sideways or consolidate. And then the second thing you guys have to understand is how to identify proper supply and demand zones. Anybody can just draw zones on their chart thinking they're valid zones when in reality they're not, and they could take trades basically blindly off of not really a valid imbalance that what we look for. So if you guys learn anything from this video, all I ask is that you guys like it, subscribe for my channel for more, drop a comment what you would like to see next, and let's get right into these zones. So first we have to understand how the stock market moves. Price only moves because of two different reasons, and it's important for you to understand the auction process and how it works. So when we say prices are balanced, what I mean by this is that market participants are agreeing on price. You have buyers and sellers in any type of market, so this is valid to say that supply and demand is in every type of market, whether you're talking about real estate market, the car market, the stock market. As long as they are market participants, such as buyers and sellers, you will have supply and demand, and you will have demand and supply. So when we're in a balanced market, you have market participants agreeing on price. You have an equilibrium between buyers and sellers, which creates massive liquidity. So let's say we're looking at a used car, I don't know, let's say $10,000, someone's looking to sell it at, and then someone's also looking to buy that car for $10,000. You have a balanced price, you have an agreement on price, and there's an equilibrium, and it creates liquidity because that person's going to be able to easily sell that car, and the person looking to buy the car is going to be easy to get that from that seller. So when this happens, you have a sideways consolidation action in the stock market. Because prices are considered equal, they will trade sideways or consolidate. Same thing with the stock market. You have sellers looking to sell at, let's say, $100, but you have buyers looking to buy at maybe $99. So you have an equilibrium basically on price. And because of this, you have massive liquidity. You have a lot of buyers, a lot of sellers looking to buy and sell at the same price. Now that's a balanced market. Now, when we talk about imbalances, this is important to our strategy. You have a market participant not agreeing on price. So because imbalances occur, you have these buyers and sellers not agreeing on a price. Now, there's two cases with an imbalance. You have obviously demand exceeds supply or supply exceeds demand. And because of this, this creates an illiquid area of price since all the stock orders were in favor of the sellers or they were in favor of the buyers. So an imbalance occurs because of an illiquid areas. You either think the buyers are agreeing on this price or the sellers are agreeing on this price. They are both not in equilibrium with each other, and you basically have one way on one side on the same way. So you either have the buyers agreeing on it or the sellers agreeing on it. So if you have supply that exceeds demand, you're going to have a massive drop in balance. And they're going to be unfilled orders sitting at the origin location that did not get filled the first time because price fell too fast from that location. So you have to understand something. You have two different orders in the stock market. You have market orders or limit orders. For a limit order to get filled, someone has to market that limit order. So if we have someone that's on the offer or selling on the ask at, let's say, $100, someone with a market order has to hit that sell limit order on the ask, and vice versa for the bidders, the buyers. If someone's looking to bid or buy at, let's say, $100, someone has to market order or sell their shares at $100 for those buyers with the limit order at $100 to get filled. So you have basically two sides. You have two sellers and you have two buyers. You have two market orders and you have two limit orders. You have a buy market, you have a buy limit. You have a sell limit and you have a sell market. So you have to understand that these unfilled orders will all be limit orders that are sitting at that origin location. So because a massive imbalance has occurred, there's still going to be unfilled orders sitting at that origin location because obviously supply has once exceeded demand or demand has once exceeded supply. So there's still going to be unfilled orders, and that is when we trade. We trade with the big banks, the big institutions that have those unfilled orders. Think about it like this. No retail trader that's market ordering or even limit ordering in their positions are going to move the market in such ways that they create massive imbalances. Any retail trader, anybody trading from home with a normal amount of money isn't going to decide where the stock is going to go. Just because they're hitting the ask or, hitting the offer, hitting the bid, that isn't going to make the stock rally or drop. You have guys, big banks, big funds, institutions like this that are trading in such large of a size that their orders can influence the direction of the market or the stock. So because of this, they're going to have those unfilled orders still sitting at that level. So because we know this as a retail trader, we can trade basically with those institutions, with the smart money and with the big money. And you can use flow with this strategy. You can use option flow, and you can really get a good trading strategy with this. You could get a good sense of where the stock or wherever the market is heading based on flow and based on with this strategy in conjunction with each other. But really fast, I want to bring over my ThinkorSwim and show you exactly how we find these imbalances and how to identify these zones. So like I said, a balanced market is where market participants are agreeing on price. You have an equilibrium between buyers and sellers, and it creates a massive liquidity, which then results in sideways, choppy, or consolidation action. I do not trade in these balanced areas. This is where majority of retail traders lose, is because they're trying to pick a direction in a balanced market where the big boys are agreeing on price. We trade when the market comes back into an imbalanced period where once there was a massive order favor of either to the sellers or to the buyers. So in this example here, you're going to have all different time frames with this as well. So it's important for you to go down the list, start at a higher time frame, go down all the way to a lower time frame. The more higher time frames you get, the better the trades will be for a little bit of a longer term type of trade. But that really doesn't matter, because as long as you find an area where we have a balanced period followed by an imbalance, you are going to have unfilled orders sitting at that area, and the probability of this trade working out and the probability of the market turning is going to be very high, and it sets us up for a low risk, high reward trading strategy. So right here we have the E-mini, the S&P 500 future. We have a 1 hour imbalance. So like I said, you could go on different time frames and find different imbalances. So it's really based on the time frame you're looking to trade at. Are you a scalper? Are you a day trader? Are you a long-term trader? Etc. So in this example, we have a nice balance period here. So the market in a 1, 2, 3 hour time period basically, was balanced. There was an agreement on price. Buyers were buying, sellers were selling at that agreed price. It's not exactly at one price, but it's a balanced period in a tight consolidated range. Following this, we had a drop. So we created an imbalance because obviously the orders were all on the sell side. So because of this imbalance now, this balance period confirmed by the drop, we have an imbalance of sell orders sitting at this pink box. So what I do is I don't trade anything that's not in an imbalance. I only trade imbalanced periods. I do not trade in the noise, in the blank spaces, whatever you want to call it, where the market is basically balanced and it's looking for an area that it creates value at, or looking for an area where long-term buyers, long-term sellers, short-term buyers, short-term sellers are agreeing on price. So obviously there was agreement on price right where my cursor is and right in this pink box. So because of that, unfilled orders, like I said, will be in this area. So I wait for price to come in this area. This is also on a 1 hour time frame. So if you go into a smaller time frame, you're going to see different things. Price came up in here. If you go on a smaller time frame, you'll see a nice rejection on a different scale. Price came up into this box, was a valid short. You could have took the S&P 500 short here. You could have traded SPY, SPX options. You do not have to trade the futures. You could have took a short in this pink box, put your stop loss above the box, and we had a nice, drop down. And then look where we dropped down at. So this is in the overnight session, obviously in the light gray area, but look where we dropped at, right? This box right here is a balanced period. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, this is an hour time frame, of balanced action, followed by a nice imbalance. All the orders were to the buy side because of this massive rally to the upside. So we obviously have buy orders sitting here. Now, I noticed this from a 4-hour time frame. So we had a, nice basing period here. The market was balanced. We had an agreement on price. Then price all of a sudden favored the buyers. The buyers stepped in. Now, all those buyers that were looking to buy down here, their orders did not get filled. So they're waiting here for price to come back into the zone. Look what happens. Right where my cursor is, the first time we tested this area was right here. We go back into a smaller time frame, such as in 1-hour time frame. And boom, we rejected that supply zone. Look where we bounced at. We opened at right at this 4-hour demand zone. We rallied again. Look what happens. Price came back into this demand zone. Bounced from this area too. Next day, price came back into this demand zone. Bounced at it again. So this is a valid demand zone. It worked 3 other times. So if you're able to spot them on different time frames in confluence with smaller time frames or larger time frames, it's a very powerful strategy. Low risk, high reward. And this is my main trading style. This is how basically I put on the trades every day. Swing trade, day trade, scalping. There's opportunity in every time frame. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe, comment what you would like to see more, and comment if you have any questions.